So often I'm asked, Katherine, how can I quit my full time career and follow my dreams to start my own organizing business? I know, it seems like an impossible task. I took that leap of faith almost 20 years ago, and my guest today has done the same. I'm speaking with Laura Souders of Healthier Spaces Organizing. She is an author, speaker, and frequent guest on Good Day PA. Her book, Organizing Her Life, chronicles her journey from quitting her job and becoming a full time organizer. She is a member of NAPO and has certificates from the Institute for Challenging Disorganization. Laura and I met while working on A&E's Hoarders and became fast friends. Hi, Laura. Welcome. It's so nice to have you here today. I have to start by asking you a question that I'm sure many people have asked you. Why did you quit your career of, I think, 18 years of being a school teacher to become a professional organizer and start your own business?
Thanks so much for having me, Catherine. Yes, a lot of people questioned why was I quitting a job of 18 years. There were so many reasons. First of all, I felt trapped in it. It's that 8 to 4 job every single day. I didn't have any time to make my own. I couldn't go to doctor's appointments with my children if I wanted to. I couldn't be their classroom mom. I couldn't do a lot of different things that I wanted to do. Even just having coffee with a friend during the week, I just couldn't do it. So there was the time that I felt trapped. I felt like my skills weren't being used. My natural skills weren't being put to their best use. I really like organizing. And during the school day, I tried to organize my students as much as I could. But most of the time, I really had to spend teaching, which I didn't want to do. And the teaching drained me. So when I went home in the evenings, I really was drained. And ultimately, I wasn't happy in the job I had.
A lot of organizers that I'm coaching, brand new organizers who are making that transition from a full time job to starting their own business, they're thinking, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to financially support myself? Because it does take time to get your business off the ground. So, what did you do in that time between quitting your full time job and when your business really began to take off? How did you pay the bills?
Well, being in education at 17 years is when I made the decision I wanted to leave. But I gave myself and my husband a full year to figure out a game plan, a strategy. I had spent years of not being happy, but I never had sat down and figured out how could I get out of this. And so we took the time to plan on me not having my income. So we really downsized so much of our lives. I realized if I was going to be moving to a job that maybe I wasn't going to make as much, especially in the beginning, but I'd be happy at the job, I didn't need to have a mocha every day. I didn't need to have that anymore. If I was going to be happy and fulfilled in my job, I didn't need to spend time on vacations or going away or treating myself to different things because I would be happy more of the time. So we started cutting down some of those expenses. I got a job waitressing before the school year even ended so that during my summers when I normally wouldn't work, I could start making a little bit of extra money to pad the time when I wasn't going to be having as many clients. And not only did we lower our day-to-day expenses, we decided um, to downsize our whole lives. So we had a big house that we had lived in. My husband was a builder, and it had been one of our model homes that we bought. And we decided to sell our house, put our house on the market, and sell it and downsize to a much smaller
Wow.
home. And I tell the story of the house that we moved into in my book. There's more about it, but it was actually a hoarded house. So we got it at a really good price and we're able to do all the work on it. So we downsized pretty much every aspect of our lives so to plan for what was going to happen. I realized the house wasn't a big house wasn't something I wanted or needed. It was really just being happy in my job and happy in my life. So the sacrifices that I made along the way were really for this future that I was wanting of happiness. I had tried to start my business a couple years before, and I thought I will teach during the day, and then in the evenings and weekends, I'll do some of these organizing jobs. It never got off the ground because I was so drained from teaching all day. I really didn't have the energy to try to create a new business. I really couldn't do the work in the evenings and weekends of putting in the time for a website or putting in the time for advertising or figuring out what I was going to do and charge in my business because I was so exhausted. And my whole reason for wanting to do the business was to be there for my family. So then I felt like I was cheating my family if I was working on my business because I was just working all the time. So I knew I had to quit my full time job and had to downsize to something. My job that I got was a part time or on call waitressing job. So I had to downsize to something where it wasn't a full time job that was taking all of my energy.
Yeah, I mean that makes so much sense because you need time, like you said, to build the website, to go to, networking events and to connect with people and work on your social media and all of those things take time. So you really need the time in your week to do those things to create your business and then of course
Mhm.
also have the time to work with clients.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'd love to know how you found that first paid client.
I did have friends and family who paid me in the beginning, and they really did want my services. And but finding that first paid client of somebody that you don't know is such a huge step in your business. And I had gone to several networking events and things like that. But being a teacher, I really had just had no experience with marketing or advertising. My students just showed up every day. I didn't have to.
Right, you do have to go out and find them.
I didn't have to go find them. They came whether I wanted them to or not. So to find clients to me was a whole new issue. I actually thought once I decided I was going to be an organizer and had business cards and told a couple people that word of mouth, I would be booked right away. So the whole finding a client thing was so new for me. So I went to these networking events and would give my 30-second elevator pitch. And I thought that'll be it. Now the phones will be ringing off the hook. I'll be busy. I'll be full, of clients. Nothing. And I did several of these, and people would talk to me about my services and be like, that's really interesting. That's really great. But it wouldn't get any further. And so I told my friend about it, and she had her own business. She said, why don't the next networking event we go to, you say, for anyone who books my services today, I will give you half price. And I said that, stood up, said my same elevator pitch I'd said about the half price. And that day I had 5 people send me their business cards as I was speaking and as other people were speaking. And I booked 5 clients immediately. And
Wow.
those clients were so valuable because I did it half price. And for me, that was great though. Being booked 5 times at half price was much better than being booked 0 times at full price. So
Right.
I booked those 5 people and they ended up, several of them did several sessions. Some of them became my biggest advertisers, putting my information on social media, telling their friends about me, just really promoting my business. But I learned so much from them. I learned about having some of the rules that I have, some of the uh, procedures of operation. Before I had them, I didn't realize because my friends and family never canceled on me at the last minute that people might do that. So I
Right.
decided, oh, I need to have a clause in there that if they cancel as I'm driving to their house because they want to go to a yoga class at that time, that they're still going to pay me. They can't do that.
Right.
I need a policy about that. So I learned so much from that and gained confidence in what I was doing. And with my friends and family, they treated you a certain way. They know you, and so you talk to them differently. I just learned how to talk to clients a little bit differently. And that actually, my clients, I felt like kind of that imposter syndrome that where you're feeling a little bit nervous, like, do I know as much as I should? This is my first real client, and really nervous that what if they have a question I don't know the answer to? But when I got to the first client, I realized they're calling me. She's calling me and wants my help because she doesn't know the answers. I'm the professional. Even if I don't know everything, I know more. And I've been working at this and reading about it, listening to calls and um, courses and things like that. I've done my work. I do know more, and I don't need to know the answer to everything. We can work together to find it. But that first client, and then for me, it was first 5 were just such a gift.
That is an amazing story to have. You're looking for that one client and you get 5, but absolutely getting 5 clients and there's always a question of, what should I charge in the beginning, and that type of thing. But you can always set a rate and then put out that discount to a select small group of people. And
Hmm.
then, like you said, you picked up those paying clients, which would have been more than not having any clients,
Hmm.
but it gave you the, experience, and figured out, like you said, some of that business processing as well, and that was invaluable. And then, you could expand from there. Really cool. What were you telling me about the happiness dollars? The happy
Happiness
dollars.
dollars, right. So my girlfriend had mentioned that to me. She said, so if you made a certain amount teaching and then you made less with organizing, she said, but what if you were paying that much the same amount in happiness dollars? Would it be worth it to you if you enjoyed that? And she said, so maybe the decrease in pay is paying for your happiness. And I just thought that was such a great idea, because really it was, because when you find you're happier in your job, some of those things that I call sacrifices that I was making, they weren't sacrifices. I just didn't need them anymore. I didn't need to go out to eat on a Friday night and didn't go out to eat or spend money or do different things because I deserved it. I didn't put in a horrible week and now I deserve to be treated this way. Now, if I went out to eat, I enjoyed it more because I just wanted to go out to eat. It wasn't like I was owed it for putting in a week I didn't want to do.
So, Laura, when did you know that you had made it? That you were not going to go back to teaching? That you did not need a side hustle? That you were a career professional organizer in a full time business? When did you know that you had made it?
It's funny. I think I didn't realize that when I had made it. My children noticed it before I did. I was so busy just making sure my business was growing and that I was getting clients and making enough money. I really didn't see how much it had changed. So when I was first waitressing and taking just a few clients in a month, my children would call me often from school or text me that they forgot a book or they needed sneakers for gym that day. And I was always available to run it. Okay, I can run it, but not until this time or that time. But I was always there sometime during the day that I could do it. And one day, my son, who was in sixth grade, said, Healthier Spaces organizing is a real business. And I said, yeah, it is. Why? Why are you saying that? Like, I thought that too. And he said, well, it didn't used to be really because you're always at home, really wanting clients and wanting to do it, but you weren't doing it all the time. He said, now you're pretty much gone every day. You like go to a job. You really have to work every day and do things. You know, and I thought, wow, he's right. And at the same time, I was working with a uh, mentor, and she said, have you looked at your projections? Have you done a business plan? And I'd never done that because I didn't need to when I was in education. And so she taught me how to do a business plan, and she looked at it. She said, your projections, you're more than doubling your business and services each year. She said, you can't actually even continue at this rate for long. You're going to need to
Right.
hire someone or change something like this. You're skyrocketing. And I hadn't looked at the numbers. I hadn't really appreciated where I had come from. I was just so busy into it. I was like not taking in the whole picture. And when I sat back and looked at it, it was just amazing. I actually ended up doing a vision board then. And it was really all about growing my business and becoming in charge of my business, because now it was a thing. It was like it was out there. It was a thing going on now. And how was I going to keep this going and sustain it at the rate that I was going? What kind of things did I need to do?
Well, thank you, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us today and taking time out of your busy, very busy schedule to speak to us today about your organizing journey.
You're so welcome. I hope that my story helps to inspire other people who are starting their organizing journey.
To learn more about Laura's story, including what happened when she bought and renovated a hoarded house, check out her book, Organizing Her Life. I'll put a link in the description box of this video. So, what would it take for you to quit your full-time job and launch your organizing business today? Let me know in the comments below, and give this video a thumbs up if you'd like to hear more from others on how they started their careers in home organizing. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos on decluttering, downsizing, and the business of organizing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.